Hi guys! I'm going to do a super quick Facebook Live. I'm shocked that my signal is even strong enough to do this in my office, but here's hoping it holds out. Okay, so this is a really important topic, and it kind of stems off of yesterday's topic because of a conversation I had with my dad this morning. I'm literally jumping right in. I'm not waiting for people to get on because I know this replay is going to be available and I don't want to lose my signal. Hi, if you're just joining, I'm just literally just diving right in. So here we go. So what I want to talk about is are we ashamed of our business? All right. And a little bit of backstory. When I first started my business, kind of felt really self-conscious about it because direct sales has that stigma. It has that weird stigma. People don't understand it. People don't know what it is. But guess what, guys? The thing is ignorant people don't understand it and don't know what it is. And I don't mean ignorant in like a really, really condescending way, but I mean like truly people who don't know anything about business put a stigma around it. People who know about business, people who have studied business, people who have learned about business, they do not put a stigma around direct sales. Okay. The people who put a stigma around direct sales are the people who don't know anything about business, period. All right. And so a couple of points of fact about that. Like for instance, when I first started my business, I remember talking to my dad and I was like, oh dad, I started this. Is this like the dumbest thing ever? And my dad was like, no, Lauren, the direct selling industry in America is the way to freaking get things sold. He was like, it is one of the best things you can do, all these things. And this is coming from my dad, who is highly educated, top executive of a commercial real estate company, is deeply involved in the business realm. And I was like, okay. And then on top of that, you see people like Dave Ramsey and you see people, people who are like, if I had to start over again, I'd find a good network marketing company and I would dig into it and I would get going. People who know things about business know that this is not a scam or a scheme or anything ridiculous, right? They know it's a professional profession if you treat it like one. But by and large, there's a large portion of the population that does not, right? It says my connection's weak, so I'm going to run and switch locations. There's a large portion of the population that doesn't. And because of that, sometimes we can feel really self-conscious. We can feel really self-conscious about our business, and we find ourselves apologizing for it sometimes. We find ourselves hiding it sometimes because we think, ooh, people are going to judge me about this. They're going to think that like, ooh, whatever. They do. And we worry about that. And so we find ourselves kind of apologizing for it. I used to do it all the time. I'll never forget sitting in the dentist chair and the hygienist asked me what I do. And I was like, oh, it's really kind of silly and stupid. I was like, I sell makeup from home. Totally was like self-deprecating my business. Okay. And she was like, that's not stupid. Like she kind of was looking at me like, why would you talk down about your business like that? And it always got my gears running. Okay. This all has a point. It's all going to tie together. I promise. So I'm talking to my dad this morning and I'm telling him, I was kind of telling him about my thoughts yesterday about, the whole diminishing my accomplishment because of whatever reason and kind of downplaying it. And so I was like, Dad, let me ask you this as somebody who hires people. My dad is he's like a super top executive, right, for this commercial real estate company, and he hires and fires and he interviews a lot of people and he sees a lot of resumes and all that sort of stuff. And I said, would Black status if I were to go back into the workforce and build a resume, would putting unique and putting Black status on there, would that have any weight? And my dad was like, yeah. And he was like, it would have a lot of weight. He's like, there's a good chance that whoever you would interview with would have no idea what Black status means. But when you put it and then you kind of have the opportunity underneath it to kind of explain that you have built an organization of however many people and that you do X amount of sales in a year or a month or whatever, he was like, that carries weight. He was like, it is real work. It is real business. And he was like, because I said something about the stigma around it. And he's like, the people who put that stigma around direct sales, they don't know anything about business. He was like, they don't know business because the direct selling industry is huge and it's an amazing way to become successful. in the United States, especially. And he's like, no, it means something. It carries weight on a resume. Did you know that, guys? Did you know that whatever your rank is as you move forward and as you progress, and when you take this seriously like a professional profession, one day you can put it on a resume. And it doesn't matter if you're at the top. Even if I wasn't at the top, I'd put freaking green status on a resume. More pretzels you can get. Can you get them out of the pantry, baby? And like we had this whole conversation about how truly this is something that goes on a resume, especially when you do it like a business. Okay, some people, you know, as we all know and as we all say, the caveat is there are some hobbyists. And if you're a hobbyist, that is totally fine and totally awesome. But if you are somebody who wants to build that company and build a business, okay, you have to know that it's something that's legit that you could put on a resume one day. And that you could... it's that bottom shelf, babe. Right in front of your eyeballs. Sorry, pretzels for my kid. Anyway, so we're sitting here having this conversation, my dad and I, and talking about what it would look like on a resume and how, you know, you talk about it in an interview and all that stuff. Don't worry, guys, I'm not going back to work. I'm sitting there talking to my dad, and I was like, Dad, I don't ever want to work for anybody else ever again. I was like, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to work for myself. I want to work on my own terms and my own schedule and all of these things. And Dad was like, yeah, he was like, you know, you never know. Anything can happen. He was like, so, you know, you always want to have a resume and be prepared to do whatever. And he was like, but he's like, yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. And then we started talking about having a self-defeatist attitude. Okay. And this is where the whole being ashamed of your business comes in. Sometimes because of that ignorant stigma that people have about direct sales, here you go, sis. Because of that ignorant stigma that people have, we find ourselves apologizing or hiding or being ashamed for having a direct sales business. Okay, we downplay it. All right, I have downplayed it. I am guilty of this in so many ways. I told my dad how, you know, I was like, Dad, like just last week I heard myself saying out loud, oh yeah, I'm Black Stat, not really a big deal. Like if you're not within Unique, not a big deal. And my dad cut me off and was like, no. He was like, that is a self-defeatist attitude and that will kill your business in sales. He was like, you cannot have a self-defeatist attitude, or you can, but you better snap yourself out of it really quickly. He was like, because you should be nothing but proud that you have a sales organization. He's like, you know, people think it's like a pyramid scheme. He's like, no, you were building a sales team is what you were building. A team of women and, you know, some men who sell. It is a sales team is what it is. He's like, you're building a sales team and you should be dang proud of that. He was like, and so he told me a story about early in his career. You wonder where I get the story thing from, right? I get it from my dad. And so my dad actually originally, when he went to school and got his degree in business, he actually has his degree in accounting, and he was a certified a CPA, and worked for an accounting firm in Dallas. And his first accounting job was at what would be considered a second tier accounting firm in Dallas. There's the Big 8, and then his company was like number 9 or 10. And all of the CPAs, all of the accountants there, whenever they would go to things, they would introduce themselves and they would be self-deprecating about their company. They would make jokes about it, right? Like it was whatever, and talk about it being second tier and all those sorts of things. It was almost like sometimes we get that self-deprecating humor because it makes us feel a little more comfortable. And so at some big meeting they had at one point, they brought in, my dad called it a business shrink, I assume, probably a psychologist that has some sort of specialty in business and business mindset. And a guy came in and he was like, I've heard you guys introduce yourselves. Are you embarrassed of what you do? Are you embarrassed about your company? Are you embarrassed of the company you work for? And nobody raised their hand. They're not really embarrassed about where they work, really. But they also kind of were, because they were explaining it away and they were kind of making jokes about it and all that stuff. And my dad's terms, not mine, he was like, business shrink, you know, was like, stop making jokes about where you work. Be proud. You introduce yourself, you look somebody in the eye, you give them a firm handshake, and you say, I work for Fox & Company. And you don't apologize for it. And you don't editorialize it for anything. Don't make jokes about it. Be proud of it. If you're going to be successful and if your company is going to move forward, then you have to be dang proud of what you do. And you have to hold your head high and do not tear it down. Okay, because when you tear it down, that makes your company look less in the eyes of others, and it makes you look less in the eyes of others. And so that makes me think about our business, right? Because so often we tear down what we do. Okay. And not everybody, let me say that, not everybody. High five, Rebecca Anderson. But a lot of us, especially if we have a lot of people who buy into that stigma about direct sales and think it's a scam, especially if we're surrounded by a lot of those people, or especially if we are higher educated. A lot of times we can kind of frown upon or kind of poo-poo the idea of, oh, direct sales, whatever. But no, no. If you want to be wildly successful, you have to believe in this profession. Okay, you have to believe that it is truly an awesome opportunity and a better way. You have to believe in our opportunity. You have to be proud of it. You have to not feel ashamed of it, not feel like it's something you need to apologize or be like, oh, it's really kind of a stupid side thing that no. You should be proud of it. When I was telling my dad this, I was like, Dad, there's kind of a stigma. I was like, a lot of times people feel ashamed of their business. I was like, I find, when I'm talking to women, a lot of times they feel a little bit self-conscious or ashamed because they have this direct sales business. And Dad was like, no. He was like, no. And I said this at the beginning of this, I'm going to say it again. He was like, the only people who have that stigma are the people who, one, do not understand what a pyramid scheme is, number one. Number two, they're totally ignorant about business and the way business operates and the fact that this is very legitimate. But he was like, no. He was like, somebody asks you about your business, Lauren, you look them in the eye, you shake your hand, and they ask what you do, and you say, you know what? I am a top, what did he say? Something really well worded that I'm not going to be able to repeat very well. I need to come up with and part of this, guys, is practice. We need to figure out how we want to introduce ourselves and introduce our business. It's not enough to say, oh, I'm a presenter for Younique. Okay, yeah, you're a presenter for Younique. So are 400,000 other people. Find a way to talk about your business. My dad was like, my dad said something to the effect of, I am a top ranking, something to the effect of like, I'm a top ranking distributor with a high-end women's products, with a sales organization of over 1,000 women, because that's what I am. And if you don't have that, then you say, you know what? I'm in the process of building a sales organization for an international, high-end women's product company or women's cosmetics company. I mean, that's what you say because that's what it is. Or you can use the word unique or whatever, but you don't apologize for it. You don't explain it away. If you believe in this opportunity and you believe in what we do, then you stand freaking proud in it. And I got to tell you guys, the 5th of every month is what we call preaching. For if you're pink and above, preaching is when you kind of see what your payout at the end of the month is going to be. And it hits the 5th of the month and it hits preaching time. And I seriously sit in awe and gratitude because I never fathomed that this existed. That I could make the kind of money that I make and I do it doing what I do. From home, on my own terms, with my kids. Okay? Never fathomed. Did I start out making this kind of income? No, nobody does. But you know what? I was grateful from the very first $5.80 I made when I sold a mascara at White Status. Okay, because dang it, I made $5.80 sharing a selfie on Facebook. Well, heck yeah, I'll take $5.80 for sharing a selfie on Facebook because somebody wanted to buy the mascara because I shared it. Nothing but utter gratitude for the fact that you can bring in any income at all. It doesn't matter if it's $5.80 or $6,000, okay? It's dang crazy that you can do this and that this kind of opportunity exists. And this is the type of stuff that we should think and that we should channel when we share the opportunity. Because holy moly, and my dad was like, in talking more about it, he was like, Lauren, and I told him, I was like, Dad, I don't ever want to work for anybody else ever again. And he was like, that's a really affirming statement. He's like, those are the kinds of statements you need to be making. He's like, those are the things you tell people. You say, you know what? I love what I do. I don't ever want to work for anybody else ever again. I love what I do. you know. Or I said something, I was like, Dad, I was like, I still sometimes can't believe like that I make this much money doing this. And he was like, that's the kind of stuff you say as well. He's like, that's another affirmative statement. I was like, well, Dad, I really can't, because we can't, like, income claims, the FTC, like it's frowned upon. And he was like, you know what, you don't need to say that. He's like, you don't need to say things like that, but you can imply how rewarding this is. He's like, you need to treat your profession like it's professional. You need to treat your profession with respect, and with the respect and dignity that it deserves. And when you do that, it gains credibility with people. Okay, most people put that stigma around direct sales, one, because they don't understand business, and two, because, you know what? Brittany, watch the interview with Carissa Morgan. It's on my YouTube channel. There's also a link to it on this page. And she talks about that because her husband was very skeptical as well, and still sometimes is skeptical. And she just powered through it. She powered through it. And it's so hard when a loved one, especially your husband, has something to say. But believe me, you have to use it to fuel your fire, you know, and to press through it. Watch that interview with Carissa, Brittany, because it's good. It's a good one. If you're just joining, hi, Megan. Go back and watch the beginning because I'm kind of wrapping up here towards the end. But the beginning is really kind of where I talk about a lot of stuff. Anyway, the point being is, you know, my dad, just having that conversation with my dad, I was like, you know what? He's dang right. He is freaking dang right. He's like, you know, the people who put this stigma around this business, they're really ignorant about business in the first place, number one. Number two, he was like, it's because they've never known anybody who did it right. Everybody they know is doing it wrong, or not doing it with a professional attitude, and not doing it in such a way that they're becoming successful at it. He's like, people who know the industry, people who know business, people who've studied business, there's no stigma around it with them, number one. Number two, he's like, people who know people who've been successful suddenly have a lot more respect for the profession because they see how it should be done, because they see what it really is. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, so no, he's like, if you introduce yourself with a self-defeatist attitude, if you find yourself apologizing for your business, if you find yourself kind of wanting to shy away and tuck it away, like, ooh, I don't really want to tell people I have this business because it's really embarrassing. Why is it embarrassing that you make money sharing product? You're not making money for nothing. Okay. You're not asking for handouts. You're not asking for money. It's dang freaking work, guys. And there's a product involved. That is real work. That is something for something. That is business. That is a business exchange. You have to treat your business like a business, and you have to give it the respect that a business deserves. If you're not giving your business respect, nobody else respects your business. If you don't respect what you do, nobody else respects what you do. Okay, if you're embarrassed about what you do, people assume there's something to be embarrassed about, and therefore they have less respect for it. You've got to show up. You have to believe in what this business is. You have to show, not only, like, we talk, and I just posted this actually on my personal page, which is all of this is kind of like a snowball effect. But to be successful, not only do you have to believe in yourself, not only do you have to believe in our products, not only do you have to believe in Younique, but you have to believe in this profession, that it's real, that it's legit, that it's a true way of operating your business. Hi, Melissa. Make sure you go back and watch from the beginning, because this is sort of the tail end of it, and the bulk of a lot of what I said is kind of at the beginning. Point is, every month, come payday, I think, holy crap, if this isn't a real way of doing business. It is. Okay. And if I don't respect my business, nobody else is going to. If I'm embarrassed of my business, people are going to assume there's something to be embarrassed about. Okay. And people don't want to join that, by the way. All right. I did a makeup appointment this morning, and I was talking with this woman, and, you know, we were talking about various things and just her life and things going on in her life. And I'm thinking to myself, if there's somebody who could use this opportunity, who could stand to make money, it's her. You know, and it's not that I want to sit there and be like, oh, hey, no, but people need to know that this way of doing business and this way of living your life, that it exists, and that it's real, and that it's worth respecting. So make it worth respecting. Okay. Hold your head up high.
Shake people's hands, look them in the eye, and be proud of what you do when you say what you do, that you have a business like this. Okay? Because that is going to make them respect you. If you're making self-deprecating comments, if you're shying away, if you're embarrassed about it, which guys, I've been there because I've made those comments. I've been that person. I know that it's sometimes it's second nature because we're scared of that stigma, but you've got to break it. And how you're going to break it is you're going to be proud of it. You're going to be dang freaking proud of what you do. I wish that I could tell people how much money I make. I do. And I don't say that because I want to be super braggy and, oh, hey, guess how much money I make. But because we want to do that because we want to validate this profession. Because I want to say, oh, you think it's not real? Let me tell you how much money I make. It's real. Okay. And let me tell you how much money my leaders are making. And let me tell you I know it doesn't work, baby, because I turned the pilot light off. You don't know what a pilot light is, but I turned it off because we don't need a fire right now. Sorry, guys. From the first $5.80 that I made, I was in awe that I could make $5.80 from my phone, hanging out with my kids, sharing a selfie on Facebook. And I didn't ask somebody to give me $5.80. I shared a legit product that was awesome, and somebody wanted to buy it. It's sales. That is sales. You wouldn't walk up to a salesperson in a store and tear down what they do. You wouldn't walk up to a car salesperson and tear down what they do. Those are professionals, and you're a professional. You just happen to do it from home or from your desk at lunch or from the freaking preschool pickup line or wherever you are. You're doing it on your terms, but you're doing sales. You're selling a product. You're selling an opportunity for somebody else to build, and you're building a sales team. You're not building a freaking pyramid scheme. You're building a sales team. And guess what? There are people that could outrank you on your sales team, that could out-earn you on your sales team. If they work hard and they treat it like a profession, they could be making more money than you. All right? It is such a legitimate way of doing business, but it has to be treated with that kind of respect. It has to be viewed with that kind of respect, and it starts with you. It starts with the way you see yourself and the way you see your business. And if you're constantly apologizing for it, and if you're constantly hiding it, if you're constantly feeling ashamed of it, nobody else is going to have that kind of respect for your business. You want people to respect your business? You have to start. You have to have the respect for your business first. I could go around and around, guys. I could. But the point is, stop with the self-defeating thoughts, stop with the self-defeating attitude, and stop with self-defeating comments. Be proud of your business. Unless you're a hobbyist, if you're a hobbyist and you're just kind of whatever, that's cool. That's totally fine. But if you want a business and you want to make business money, you've got to treat your business like it's a business, and you've got to own your business like it's a business. You've got to be proud of it, guys. Because nobody else is going to be if you're not. That's what I got. Brandy, I'm really sorry you just jumped on the end. If you just started watching, please go back and watch from the beginning, because the beginning there's a whole lot of stuff and I just am wrapping up. So, but yeah. I just remember Brianne saying the day she signed up, she became a Black Status presenter. Yes! You know, and you know what? I respect Brianne so much for the fact that that was her attitude when she joined, because I didn't have that attitude when I joined. I honestly, truthfully, was still in that weird direct sales stigma place. And you want to know why? I was ignorant about business. I'm not trained in business. You know what I'm saying? I'm trained in like liberal arts, like history and Latin, right? I didn't know anything about business. So I put a stigma around direct sales. So I didn't know enough to say, oh yeah, I'm going to be a Black. I didn't know enough. The day I realized this profession is legitimate was when I read GoPro by Eric Worre. And it changed my mindset about what this business is and what this industry is. It changed my mindset, and I realized, oh, holy crap, this is a real professional thing. The people that I had been seeing around me, they were not network marketing professionals. They were not people who treated their business like it was professional. They were people who kind of did it, kind of hobbyist here and there, whatever. They weren't the professionals of the business. And that's when I realized that there's a difference. There's a difference in somebody who does a direct sales organization and just kind of does it as a hobby, and somebody who does it as a business and who does it and literally says, "Don't, no, off palm, please, off, baby, I love you. That's not what we do with the dog." Just literally sitting on the dog. It's no good. So I realized there's a difference. Eric Worre GoPro did that. It did that for me. But Brianne Lauren, the point in all this, Brian knew from the very beginning. And I always admire that because I did not. I did not give this business very much credit in the beginning. Then I read GoPro and I gave it more credit, but I still found myself like shrinking back from it and kind of apologizing for it when I introduced myself to people. And now I kind of want to shout it from the rooftops. Holy moly, people. Like, if you want to do business a better way, come do what I do, because I am master and commander of my life, and I don't ever want to work for anybody else ever again. I want to work for myself. I make more money working for myself than I ever did working for anybody else. This is the way to do it. And I'm done apologizing for it. I'm done being embarrassed about it. I'm dang proud of what I do, and I'm dang proud of the organization I've created. Good, Rebecca. It's a good book, man. All right. Ben is crying, so I have to go because I work around my life, not the other way around. And yeah, go out there, guys, and be proud of this business. Like, I wish for all of you to hit black status. And I know not everybody wants to hit black status. I know that not everybody wants to hit black status, but I wish that for you people. I wish for people to create the same thing that I've created. I want that for freaking everyone, because I'm like, holy cow. Yeah, it's crazy town, y'all. My husband has 11 years worth of education to make what he makes, okay? And I have 4 years of higher education, but still, I match his income doing things at home and on Facebook. For real. Okay? I'm telling you guys, it's legit. Stop apologizing for it. You want to have a professional business? Have a freaking professional business, but it starts with your mindset. It starts with your attitude. Thank God for second children, because she just went in there and totally made him happy. And yeah, guys, I'm telling you. And by the way, I don't say that. When we talk about income, when myself or Brianne or any other leader talks about income, I hope you know that we are not doing it to brag. We do it because we want our teams to know what's possible, because we want to, sometimes we feel like we have to validate this profession for our teams because we want you to know what exists and that it's there. I remember the first time Amber Voigt told us what she makes, and I was like, holy cow, goals, like what? You know, and it seems so impossible, but anybody can have it. Anybody. You don't have to have 11 years worth of higher education. Okay, you don't have to have 4 years worth of higher education. Okay, you don't even have to have a high school degree. All right, but you have to be willing to learn the business. You have to be willing to treat the business like a profession, and you have to be willing to be a professional, and you have to be dang proud of it. Okay, because if you're ashamed of your business, if you're embarrassed about your business, everybody around you is going to lack respect for what you do. Nobody's going to respect what you do unless you respect what you do. Period. And I don't care what your profession is. It could be network marketing. It could be being a teacher. Nobody's going to respect what you as a person do. Nobody in your life is going to respect that unless you do. And even if you do, they might not respect it right away, but you prove it to them. You prove it to them by constantly showing belief in what you do, constantly showing belief in your organization, constantly learning, and then you get to the point where you show them. Okay? And the more you can show them, the more you will silence them. Okay, the more you build that credibility for yourself and for your business, the more people will sit down and shut up. For real. Okay, for real, I'm going to go because I get a little ranty. And my kids, I don't know what they're doing. Pretty sure Elle probably got in Ben's crib. So I'm going to go check on that. Have a super great day, guys. Yeah. Foundation day. I need to go make a foundation video. No, I see what you found. Okay, bye guys.